There is no ancient pity in this game for non-lords. I think that's a problem. I've got a friend here to join me today, the fantastic Mystical. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, very good, thanks. Yeah, it's nice. Bit of an issue with the ancients. That's without saying. Yeah. So yeah, have a look at it. See how it goes.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot to unpack here. Before we do, I'm sure we both have some strong opinions about this. I thought maybe you could introduce yourself to everybody. I feel like I've known you for a little while. I think our first DM was almost a year ago, something like that. However, we never ended up collabing and just paths didn't cross. But maybe a week or two ago, I mentioned, hey guys, is there any creators that you've never seen me collab with that you think are really great? And like a dozen comments with your name. Like you were the most named by a mile. So I was like, we got to do it. So here we are.
Yeah, I had to create a dozen accounts for that.
Awesome. Well, do you want to just say what kind of content you like to make and maybe share a bit with the people?
I generally like to do guides, that sort of thing, just slow in-depth stuff. Generally I try to do a lower BP, that sort of thing, or with more free-to-play or more easily accessible heroes, but I don't think that's always possible within the game construct. I think there are some issues with epics you can get, that sort of thing, but you know, it is what it is. I think essentially it's a very good game, and I think if you're free to play or low spend, this is probably a really good game for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think accessibility definitely feels like a theme on your channel. It's something I try to do, but you know, like you said, with certain content and as your roster grows, it can become difficult. But I think you do a pretty excellent job at that. So people should definitely check out your channel. I'll put the link in the description and the top pinned comment. And guys, we really think there needs to be an ancient non-lord pity, non-lord mercy introduced. Wouldn't you agree, Mystical?
Absolutely, 100%. It needs to have something in there. Having nothing is disastrous.
Disastrous is the perfect word. We're going to throw out a lot of ideas in this video, a lot of potential changes, but regardless, if you agree, and how could you not, we need some kind of system. Let the devs know in the comment section, and if you have a better suggestion than what we discuss in this video, please let us know below. Let's try to make a change. This would be such a huge positive impact on the summoning experience. Let's get into it.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
So the keen eye may have noticed behind me, I have highlighted just the Arbiter and Chaos units in the game that I have on my roster. I figure I'll just use my account as an example to get into this conversation, and I really want to get all of your thoughts. But I think the fact, well, let me take a step back. I know, but I think maybe a lot of people may not realize there's no pity for non-lords. So yeah, there's a 1% chance to hit, so on average you should hit once every 100 ancients, a non-lord, but you can very easily hit 5 in 100 or hit none in 500. Maybe very easily is a stretch, but do you have any crazy stories like that, like really good viewer luck or bad luck, either extreme? I know I've got a couple.
Well, I must admit, I never knew about this at all until relatively recently. I think it was a month or so ago when someone put into Dev Insights about it. And that was the first time I thought, no, that can't be right. So I thought, I'll go and have a check, I'll go and have a look at it. I thought, no, they are right. There is nothing there for non-lords. I thought that's really weird. I just naturally assumed, I think like a lot of people, that there obviously was. And then I've recently gone back and watched all my videos of ancient pools.
Oh, really?
So I've gone back, rewatched them, yeah. And I've started to count up. And you can go several hundred pools. That's probably a bit of an exaggeration. I think I've done about 300 pulls without a non-lord. Now, that being said, I don't know if there's a soft or a weird pity in there. I don't think I've gone more than 100 pulls without a form of a legendary.
Interesting. I very much have. And I've definitely done it for viewers as well. Yeah, my record, I mean, to be fair, law of large numbers. At this point, I've pulled well over 1,000 ancients in the almost 2 years I've been playing my account. So you can kind of see behind me, I don't have the greatest non-lord ancient roster or even the ancient lord roster, but I have something. But for the longest time, I had nothing. And I actually got a streak at one point that I had 460 ancients without pulling a non-lord. And the only lord I pulled was King Hearts twice. Yeah.
Oh, and you got a dupe as well.
Yeah,
that's harsh.
Well, it wasn't a dupe. I think that, so I've pulled 6 King Hearts. He's by far my most. I think at that point it was like my 3rd and my 4th. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I had a stretch on my
That
account
is
where
shockingly bad.
I had 4 lords in a row between normal summons and ancient summons. I pulled King Hearts, and 5 out of 6. I had that streak one point in my account. Yeah. Enough about me though. I just wanted to paint the picture that it can happen. And similarly, I've pulled 4 non-lords for a player before in like 32 summons. I did like 4 10 pulls.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, and I've even pulled like 3 lords in less than 30 summons. Like the rates come, the rates go, right? Like RNG's there, RNG isn't. What saves that is a mercy, a pity. And it's very typical in this game. I was going to say in other games, but it's actually unbelievably present in this game. We actually have what I think is a pretty generous Lord Pity. Of course, it sucks if you hit it. Right, when you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's one of the most generous games going. I think if people don't find it generous with regards to summoning that sort of thing, you should go and try some other games and that sort of thing, and you'll find you'll come back and you'll think, wow, it's generous over here with regards to summons.
That's actually great. Sorry, that's just a great point to transition into what I was about to say, so I appreciate you phrasing it that way, because there are so many games that are way less generous, but even those games have a mercy for different rarities, right? So I know people don't like when I mention Raid, or certain people don't like it, but I do play Raid every day. I have a separate Raid channel. People can go check that out, Fastidious Gaming, link in the description. But, gotta plug that. Gotta plug it, Mystical. But even with their primal shards, which are a nightmare, we call them red ancients. Like, that's how bad they are. Ancients are the bad summons in that game. They're trash, right? The rates are brutal, but they have a mythical, which is the rarest thing. They have a pity for that, and they have a separate legendary pity, which kind of somewhat would be congruent to having a legendary Lord Pity and a non-Lord Pity with our Ancients and Watcher of Realms. So even the more greedy games, right, the less generous games, they still have some system. And even though we have a system with limited banners, with our rare summons, with our divine summons, and with our Ancients for Lords, the non-Lords, there actually is a huge gap. Do you want to guess the highest number I've heard someone went without pulling with only pulling Lords, no non-Lord legendary?
650.
Yeah, it was like somewhere between 600 and 650. They said that was the highest I heard. Someone from Mad, but yeah, it's crazy. So and that's actually a cool moment. So are you free to play, or are you pay to win, or what's your approach to the game, Mystical?
Well, with regards to this, I try to keep I've got 2 accounts. So I run on the Forerunner and I run on the Globe. The Forerunner account I try and keep as free to play as possible. There have been some errors with that where I've had CC perks paid into it. I do try and steer away from that and keep it free to play. We sort of try to ground my account a little bit over what other people might be feeling or that sort of thing. And with it being more or less a year advanced, you can sort of say, well, you will get there. It will just take you a bit of time. But there are other issues with running that as well. But that's more to do with Lady A and Arena and that sort of thing. But that's a whole different ball game at the moment.
Well, I only ask just because what I think is interesting about this issue is I feel like there of course are general broad issues for everybody, but this is one that I think acutely affects like the lowest and the heaviest spenders in the entire game. I think those are the people that feel this the most. Because if you spend a lot of money, thousands of dollars on Ancients, and you go on one of those stretches that is 2, 3, 4, 500 Ancients without getting anything but 2 or 3 Lords, and especially if those Lords aren't good, that's going to make you not want to spend. Maybe not even want to play. Moreover, if you're free to play, especially if you're not endgame, right? If you're endgame like us, you can probably get, even without big events going on, 40, 50, maybe even a little more Ancients a month. When you're earlier on, it's 20 or 30, right? So you're talking maybe 6, 7 months to get to Lord Pity, to go the whole way there, 20, 30 at a time, whenever you have a banner you like. Never hit a non-Lord. You finally get to the Lord, and it's a fart. Is there a worse feeling in the world?
No, not really. No. My last Lord Pity was Ajax. And I'm like,
yeah.
You sort of take it and you think, well, yeah, it is one of those things, but the article that I read on the Dev Insights, now he broke it down as to how much he spends.
Oh, really? Tell me.
And he was saying he spent the best part of $1,000. He brought every ancient thing there was in the shop, and it worked out to be about $1,000. And he got not a single banner lord that it was.
Yeah.
He
so
hit it about 4 times, I think. Yeah.
So that kind of compounds it with another problem, right? We have the issue that, honestly, the rate up for Ancients is really good because the pool's so limited. It's the strongest rate up we have in the game, but you can still miss.
Yeah.
So there's that issue. That feels bad. But then if you're missing and then if you're not even hitting and when you finally do hit, it's a miss. So you have like the worst of both worlds. It's definitely not the most fun experience in the world, I would say. So I think maybe we could have a chat about a solution because, like I said, even the more greedy games in the space, they at least have some kind of system. So do you have anything that comes to mind? What you'd propose? I mean, maybe we can start here. I think the Legendary Lord Pity is fine as it is. I think that doesn't need to be changed. Would you agree?
Legendary Lord Pity, I think, is
strong.
Yeah, good. I'd even go as far to say it's good. Yeah, I mean, I like it from 185, and I think you're maxed out at 200, aren't you?
Yeah. And from what I've seen, I've never heard of anyone going higher than 195. Typically, it's like by 192 people are hitting because the progressive's pretty strong. But I think the void in the pity space that exists with the fact that there's nothing for the non-lords, I think that's an issue. So do you have a number that you think would be fair, or a system that you think would be fair, some kind of guarantee, some kind of mercy that would appeal to you?
Appeal to me or appeal to Moonton, and that could be very different.
Okay, maybe both then.
Well, they're 1%, aren't they? So should it be fixed arbitrarily at 100 then?
Kind of where my head was at. What I was thinking because they do lean over generosity, right? So the chance to without a 2x, let me explain myself. So like on a normal banner, right? On a rare summoning banner or a limited banner, something like that, one of the lucky picks, right? The hard guarantee is 200 now. It used to be 220. It's 200, and it kicks in at 180, and no one's going to 200. I've never heard of it. It's like 1 in 1 with a bunch of zeros after it. Chance that you'd go to the full hard pity. It's not going to happen. The highest you'd go is like mid 190s, and frankly, the vast majority of people are going to hit between 185 and 190, something like that, 192. But that actually locks in a more generous rate fundamentally than the rate listed in the game, right? If it's not a 2x, it's a 0.5%, which means expected value should be 1 in 200. They're actually locking in a rate that comes out a bit higher than that. It's not 0.5%. It's something like 0.6% or something like that. So I would argue, follow suit. I would say do the same thing. Make the ancient non-lord pity, soft pity at 80, hard pity at 100. So the average player would be hitting, if you have to go to the mercy, every 85 to 92, something like that. They'd be getting the non-lord. Yeah. I think that'd be really cool. Do you think that I'm being a little naive? Do you think that's too generous? Do you think that'd be reasonable?
I came from Raid, so my initial thoughts are you're not going to get it. But having played here for a while, I'd say that's probably arguably fair. They are very generous with these sort of things. There is no reason why they couldn't do it. With more and more Lords and probably Ancient exclusives coming within the next, month, I'd say? With the anniversary coming up, I dare say they're going to release some more during the anniversary.
For sure.
That pool will get ever bigger. So with the increase in pool size, then you do need to do something. And if they're going to do anything, it should be now, because they are having, I think they've termed it as internal discussions, haven't they, around summoning in general? Is that the phrase they've used?
Yeah.
They said they were happy with the drop rates, but they wanted to improve the experience. So
yeah, they've
I think
spoken
if you're
a lot
going to get
about
a change.
Yeah, they've spoken a lot about through the dev Q&A, maybe even through an announcement, I know, but certainly behind the scenes with creators. I can't get into specifics, but they're working on these internally they're discussing new systems to make the banner pulling experience more enjoyable. However, I haven't seen anything in direct reference to adding the Ancient Pity, the non-Lord Pity, which is why I wanted to make this video.
No, I haven't either, no.
Yeah.
No, I've only heard them say internal discussions, and that could be anything, and whether we would see results for internal discussions or not, that's another call altogether. But
I guess I want to take this point to reiterate or make clear the point of this video is to open this discussion and maybe encourage the devs to, fold this into their internal discussion, that maybe we also need a non-Lord Ancient Pity. So viewers, if you agree, please let the devs know your thoughts in the comments, make some dev insight requests, stuff like that. Because I think it's a conversation that should be had, and I think it's something that could be implemented in many ways. Even the least generous way, I think, could be very positively received by the player base, all the way from your free-to-play to your $2,000 a month guys, in my opinion. I figure maybe I should play devil's advocate and be a little more conservative about what I think they could add. Maybe that's a bit more reasonable. So I'm thinking they might say, well, the reason the pity's so generous at 180 and you get it before 200 with the normal summons, with your blue summons, is because it's such a big hero pool, right? I think we have 67 non-lord normal heroes, the normal pool invocation heroes, right? The divine heroes. But here it's far less. I don't know the number, but we're talking for sure less than 40. I mean, we could do a quick count here. This is 7 wide, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, can't pull her, 17, can't pull him, 18, 19, it's like 20. It's like, I think it's exactly 20.
I can't pull her.
Yeah. So yeah, she's the Lord. Separate kind of bucket there, but 1 in 20. I mean, that's really not much. So maybe if I was going to be team devs, I still think you need to have something, but maybe you make it 150. So at least, if you pull 300 times, you're probably coming out of that with 2 non-lords and 2 lords, which I think actually would feel good to a lot of players. You're still hitting a gold and better than one in every 100. The rate should be it's about 1 every 55 to 56 if you consider the 1.8% chance with the 1% for non-lords and the 0.8 for lords. I mean, what do you think about that? Let's say it kicked in at 150, hard guarantee at 170, or kicked in at 160, hard guaranteed at 180. And it ran congruently to the Lord Pity. What do you think? You think that that's getting too far out?
That's a little bit harsh, really.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. It is a tough one for them to balance, but they do need something in there. I think anything would be well received, because once you've got something, then you can start more bartering over it.
Yeah.
But they've got the results over what gets pulled and where. But would you say that a Lord would counteract the legendary pool or not, or would you have them running?
No, they have to
entirely separately.
They have to run in parallel,
entirely separately. Yeah,
I think so. So just because they have a very similar system in Raid, they have I want to say it's 75. It's either, maybe, do you remember with primals? It's either 75 or 80.
I can't remember. Yeah.
But so you have soft pity for the rarest ones, which would be the equivalent of legendary lords at 200, hard mercy at 220, and then for the normal legendaries, they have it. I think it's either 75 or 80. But they run completely no intersection, like in total parallel. They're separate mercy counters, which is what I'd love to see here. I'm trying to think just from the dev perspective. It's such a tight pool that you could say there's only 20. If you're going to get it every 90. If someone spends a lot of money, they're spending $1,000 for 11
so how
non-lords.
quickly would a whale max it out?
That's what I'm saying, right? So $1,000 on average should get you 11. If it was like you're getting one every 90, maybe that's a lot that you're getting. That's my only counter from the dev perspective, because people spend $10,000 or $20,000. Why not? Let's get a bunch of A5s. It might sound crazy to some viewers and players, but people do that. So I don't know.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, absolutely there are. Yeah.
What final place you think we should end? Or, I mean, we could just say clearly they need something. I think we can agree. I hope the viewers can agree. Let us know.
Yes.
If anyone has a better suggestion. But maybe it's 120. I mean, I just think we need something. Even if it was 200, I just think we need some assurance. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, yeah. No matter where it is, as long as there is something in there. I mean, to be honest, I would also like to see a pity counter as well.
That's a video for another day, my friend.
How long have we been after that, eh?
It's funny
been
because
after that for a little while.
It's such a simple piece of coding, right? But every game's resistant to it because they think it's too player friendly. That's what it comes down to, right? You need.
Have you played King Arthur?
I mean, I played King Arthur for 2 hours one time, but Etheria, they count it for you, right? But Raid doesn't count it for you. Watcher Realms doesn't count it for you. I'm pretty sure maybe they do now, but I don't think Summoners War used to count it for you. I mean, a huge part of the gacha genre is separating you from your money and then separating your experience from reality. It's all about that detachment and getting lost in the sauce. So I think this is a way they do that.
You chase that pool and that lucky win, don't you? That one time where you pull the Lord and maybe another one, and the top end Lego. You keep chasing that feeling and going back for it time and time again. And it's very sellable, and we're all here being, addicted to that don't for me rush going through our little brains. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought. I just showed Valkyra, and now I'm pulling up Valeria, just because another reason I think this is necessary is when it comes to like player attrition and player retention, you want people to feel confident and positive about these systems, even if they're not like hyper generous. You just want people to have good experiences. And when we have units, not that they're bad at all, actually, I think these are probably the two of the better examples. We have 4 units, right? Cerberus, who's really fallen off. Valeria, who's become very niche, but is still powerful. Then we have Constance and Valkyra. And they're also available from normal summons, but the average player, especially once you have them, this is a huge disappointment, pulling one of these normal guys.
Oh, massive, yeah.
From your ancient. And because these can be so few and far between without the non-Lord Pity, I think that can be the cherry on top of the I'm quitting this game Sunday, you know? It's like, I went 300 without a non-Lord, and I pulled my A4 Cerberus. I'm out of here. I think that's, let me know if that's you. Like, I think that's somebody, you know?
There is someone out there who's done that, yeah. I mean, like I say, I thought I was unlucky getting Ajax for my Lord, but yeah, if I'd gone that long without getting a non-Lord and then got someone I can get anywhere else, yeah. I just say, I mean, if it happened while you were street, you'd see Mike go up with you and the camera's going off, and yeah, you'd be storming off the screen and all sorts of, not enough, that's it, no more.
Yeah, well, I guess just to use myself as like an example, right? I had some of the worst ancient luck probably ever documented to start my account. Like the first year I pulled Morgan, like my second month, which was awesome. And then I didn't pull another Lord for maybe 7 or 8 months. It was King Hearts, then it was King Hearts, then it was Twin Fiend, who I already had from normal summons, then it was King Hearts again. And in that whole time, we're talking about 11 or 12 months, I'd pulled them, 1 Ardia, which was amazing, Pelagius, which was kind of cool, and then Cade. That was it. That was my first year, right? We're talking like three King Hearts, a Morrigan, and then 3 non-Lords. That was it. My experience really changed after that in a crazy way. I had one session where I pulled 2, let me actually just pull it up here. I pulled 2 Uridin, and I ended up pulling another Uridin in the future. You can see I filled out. I finally pulled the Sami. I got a Lugaru. It started filling out a little bit. I ended up pulling 2 more Ardia. So I had this kind of change on the head thing, but I actually went almost a year and a half without ever pulling an Ancient Lord. And then I pulled in a row. I've pulled Ingrid, Yovar, and Valderon. So it's just like, whoa, right? Game change. Imagine if that didn't happen. Maybe I'd be the whiniest brat of all time, even more so than some people already think, right? So like, you can just see, it's like, it just takes those couple little coin flips or little moments where it's like, the game's like calculating, they're spinning their random number generation. It's like lands on Valderon, but like could have easily been a dupe Morrigan, right? And things like this. And that happens to a lot of people. They just get screwed over and over and over, even over a large amount. And I think we need a change. I think that's where I want to leave it. What do you think, Mystical?
Yeah, definitely needs a change. Needs something to aid the player base to just. The dips can be so massive when you've waited so long for a buzz or a high, or your little endorphins running around your brain, whatever you've wanted. That little fix, when you see the gold and then it turns and it's a disaster for you, and you know you may now be going months, particularly if you've got a younger account and the ancients aren't so great or easy to get hold of for you, or you're spending a lot of money to try and get another flash of gold, and again that could be disastrous as well. So yeah, definite change, and whatever they do will be for the better.
Yes,
but whatever they do, I think sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. I also think it would be in their interest, right? Before the pool gets too big and people get jaded in a new fresh way, I think they should get ahead of the issue.
Maybe they'll bring it out for the anniversary.
Would be brilliant.
Yeah, I don't see it, but it would be nice. The anniversary will have a major ancient summoning on somewhere, won't it? And it'd be nice if they changed it for that.
Absolutely. Well, I think you summed it up beautifully. I think that's where we should end it. Thank you so much for joining me on this. If anyone has a better suggestion, if anyone has a real horror story they want to share with us, let us know in the comments. I'll send this video to the devs. Hopefully they'll watch it. Sometimes I get pre-confirmation they're going to watch the video. I don't have that on this one, but I hope so. I think it'd be really productive. You got a final thought or a final goodbye for the viewers, Mystical?
No, just good luck. Get saving for the anniversary, and good luck with the ancients when it comes for that.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you want to subscribe to Mystical, check out his stuff. We'll have the link in the description and the top pinned comment. I've been Fastidious. That's been Mystical. Share with your mother, and we'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.